Hello everyone, myself Swati Jayavant Kokate from Nagesh Karasgi Orchid School. Students, we were learning lesson number 5, geography, that is water. We have seen that whatever distribution of water bodies, its percentage, ocean circulation, waves, tides, isn't it? Tides again we are going to see in detail. Also we were discussing about tsunami, okay. Tsunami, the earth's pandemonium. Means what is pandemonium? I told you, it is a widespread destruction, means it is very much destructive, we can say. So we are going to see now in this lesson. Come to your textbook, children. Here tsunami was the harbor or the harbor. Wave struck havoc in the Indian Ocean on 26 December 2004. So it occurred there. And harbor, also I told the meaning, it is a sheltered body of water where ships can be docked, means where ships can be kept, okay. So and havoc means also widespread destruction, and pandemonium you can say destruction also, or disorder in the earth's surface or inside or outside the earth's surface. So where it had occurred, children, this epic center was close to the western boundary of Sumatra. What is Sumatra? It is an island in Indonesia. So the magnitude went under the Burma plate and there was a sudden movement in sea floor causing earthquake. So when the earthquake occur, as we have discussed in lithospheric plates and all, when they move, these plates move slightly also, there may be a huge earthquake. So the ocean floor was displayed by about 10 to 20 meters. Now which ocean floor means, see, ocean means water, you will think, but below that also earth is there, isn't it? So the plates also move from one place to another, not too much, but a slight change also may occur, a large destruction. So a huge mass of ocean water flowed to fill the gap that was being created by the displacement. So what happens? Then the water also flows where the place it gets. This marked the withdrawal of water mass from coastlines of the land masses in the South and the Southeast Asia. So coastline means the area which is the land place near the coast, okay. After thrusting of the Indian plates below the Burma plate, the water mass rushed back towards the coastline. So as we can see, there was this water rush due to the earthquake. Just tsunami travelled at a speed of about 800 km per hour. So you can imagine what the speed must be, and comparable to the speed of commercial aircraft, and completely washed away some of the islands in the Indian Ocean. So much destruction and so much speed, we can just imagine. The Indira Point in the Andaman and Nicobar Island. What is Indira Point? It is a point, or we can say it is a name of a lighthouse in Andaman Nicobar Islands, and it was also completely destroyed or submerged by this tsunami. As the wave moved from earthquake's epicenter. What is epicenter? We have seen, children, that it is the center from where the earthquakes occurs, okay, from Sumatra towards the Andaman Island and Sri Lanka. The waves length increased with increasing depth of water. So as the deep water was, the length of the waves were increasing. The the travel speed also declined from 700 to 900 kilometers per hour to less than 70 kilometers. So tsunami was travelled up to a depth of 3 kilometers, just imagine, from the coast, killing more than 10,000 people and affected more than lakhs of houses. So in India, which places were affected badly? And the areas, coastal areas of Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So while the earthquake cannot be predicted in advance, yeah, see, only it can be predicted for a few hours before, okay, like how we predict the climate and everything of next day or whatever of next week. But here the whatever the scientific discoveries are there, here it is not to that extent. So we can avoid little things, but we cannot avoid fully. Such early warning systems are in place across Pacific Oceans, but not in Indian Oceans. Tsunamis are the rare in Indian Ocean as the seismic activity is less compared to the Pacific Ocean. So here you can see the destruction caused by tsunami on Tamil Nadu's coast, and how much destruction was occurred there, and what was the first indication that tsunami approached rapidly was withdrawal water from coast region followed by destructive waves. See what is the means, you can see children, the waves come from this side to the seashore, from seashore to the coastline, but before that if there is destruction, what happens, or if the tsunamis occurs, these waves go backward, means from here you can see this wave go like this backward. So this is the one of the indications, this people can easily find out that there will be tsunami or like. So we have seen that tsunami that ravaged the South and the Southeast Asian coast in December 2004 is the most devastating tsunami in the last several hundred years, means during this 100 years it has not happened, so much large destruction has not occurred. So the large damage occurred or caused to life, property was primarily a result of lack of monitoring. The early warning system and the knowledge among the coast dwellers of the Indian Ocean. Who are the coast dwellers? Those are the people who are living nearby this coast or nearby this area. So what their occupation is, like fishing or what shipping, whatever they do nearby. So they live nearby these coastal areas. And what happened, children? This was means very destructive, and why this has happened? Because there was lack of monitoring, means no one gave them prior notice, or it was of very less time, and they were also not having that idea or that how to escape from or how to take preventions when these tsunamis happen, how to just escape within few hours and go to the place wherever these waves, means to the higher height, means where to leave the place and go fast to the other place within hours. So the early warning system and the knowledge also among the coast dwellers, due to this there was a too damage in life as well as the property. Property means we can say whatever things are there in the houses, like money or gold, silver, also whatever things they had. The first indication that tsunami is approaching in the rapid withdrawal of water, as I told you, means withdrawal of water, these waves they go backside, and that is the indication that people can notice, that means waves come from here, from seashore, from here to the seashore. But here what happens, this whatever the waves, they go backside, back ways, and when these waves go backward, children, what happens, whenever you want to give something fast, or see whenever you want to in the cricket you have seen the bowler goes back, isn't it, and he comes with a force and he throws the ball or he does the bowling on the batsman. So it will be with a great force, isn't it? So as we want to give with some force, what we do, same way the waves go backward and it will come with the too much of force in the form of tides or waves. So this was the destruction due to tsunami. Now we are going to see what are tides. So tides, what are tides? Tides are the rhythmic rise and fall of ocean water twice in a day. Okay, it occurs twice and it is called as tide. means what children? Rhythmic means occurring, means to happen regularly or to occur regularly. And it is a high tide when water covers much of the shore by rising to its highest level. So what happens? Let me just, you will be having confusion that waves and tides what it is. So waves, what we have seen children, that when the water on the surface of the ocean rises and falls alternately, means one after the other. So you can see these waves on the upper side of the ocean, okay, which you see Lata we can call in Marathi, okay. So these waves come one after the other and they are alternate, that only one after the other. These are waves, but what are tides? It is the level of the water, understand, means water's quantity is the same in the ocean, okay. Whatever you see on the upper surface, it is waves, okay. And the tides means the highest rising level of the water, means with what force it comes, the level will be the highest, isn't it? If the what we call, if the force is not too much, the waves or the tides will be, the level will be of slow, means of the little low level. So understood, tides and waves. So rhythmic means which occurs regularly, and rise and fall of ocean water, it occurs twice in a day, and it is the high tide when water covers much of the shore by rising to its highest level. So we can say high tide, when it is high tide, when it rises to the highest level of the ocean. It is low tide when the, we say low tide is there, means what? The whatever the tides are going on or whatever the waves are there, the level is to the lowest and recedes from the shore. Now in that we are going to see three types, okay, of tides, that is neap tide, spring tide. We are going to see this neap tide. So we can say that the strong, see, as we know that sun is stationary, okay, sun doesn't travel from one place to another, but the moon also has gravitational force, earth also has gravitational force. So we can be stable on earth, isn't it? But here in neap tide what happens? See, sun is here, you can see the earth also, and when this moon's gravitational force is there, what happens? The most of the part is water, isn't it, on the earth. So the land cannot be, what we can say, it cannot grab, or its gravity cannot pull land, but water, as it is in liquid form, it can be pulled at some extent. So when the moon is near this earth, what happens? The neap tide occurs, means the gravitational force of this earth or the gravitational force of this moon, it will attract like a magnet, it will pull this water, okay, or from the earth towards this moon. So you can see that neap tides, okay, or when such tides occur, the full moon and the new moon day, when the sun and the moon are in the same line, okay, we are discussing this neap tide. So here neap tide means such tides occur when the moon is in its first quarter and the last quarter. So you can see it is near its quarter, and the ocean water draws a diagonal opposite direction, means see here, diagonal means you can see here and here, okay, by gravitational pull of sun. Here you can see the gravitational force of sun is also there and also moon. So here the water is been pulled over there. So there will be, you can see here little low tides. Why low tides? Because here if you are, suppose you are pulled by here one friend from here and one friend from here. So nor you can go fully here nor here. Some of the part of water will go here and some of the part of water will go here. So, how will be the force or how will be the result of tides? It will be low. So, here in neap tide we can say that, see here sun's gravity will pull the water, here moon's gravity, and that is why the result will be of low tides. Fine. So, here let us see spring tides. See, when the sun, moon and the earth, they are in the same line, okay. These tides are higher because what happens? See, the water on the earth's surface is pulled by moon's gravitational force as well as from here sun's gravitational force. So, both the forces, now suppose as I told you here, one friend was pulling from here and the other was here, but now here this one is pulled by moon as well as sun. So, how the tides will be? What it will be? The highest, means it will be the force of the water, or like higher means it will go to a very high level. Okay. So, what are high tides now? Such tides, high tides means which go to a very highest level. Such tides help in navigation. They raise the water level close to the shore, which helps the ships to arrive at the harbour more easily. So, we can see when the tides are at a high tides, obviously the force of the moving of the ship will be fast and they can arrive at the harbour more easily. During what time? During high tides. Okay. So, you have understood spring tides, neap tides as well as high tides. So, here as I told you, like this occurs due to gravitational force. Now, we can see high tides help in navigation. I told you navigation means the ships can travel from one place to another, might be for transport of goods and people also. So, they raise the water level close to the shore. This helps the ship to arrive at the harbour place more easily. So, the high tides also help in fishing. What happens when the high tides are there? The lot of water comes in with a high level, and with that the fishes are also carried with the high tide, isn't it? So, they come closer to the shore and it will be easy for the fishermen to put the net and catch more fishes. This enables the fishermen to get a plentiful of catch of fishes. So, the rise and the fall of water due to tide is being used to generate electricity in some places. So, as we have seen that windmill also, what happens due to that wind's force, electricity is generated, you have you know it, but due to this rise and fall of water also, what happens? The current appears, isn't it? So, some force, large force is occurred due to this rise and fall of water, of tides also. So, here also the electricity is generated due to these high tides. Now, we are going to see ocean currents. Okay. What are ocean currents? Ocean currents are the streams of water flowing constantly on the ocean surface in a definite direction. See, when it rains, children, the water it can flow from any area wherever it gets. It flows into rivers or the river flows wherever it gets the place. But what are ocean currents? Ocean currents are the streams of water and it flows constantly on the ocean surface in a definite direction. So, you have to learn this definition also, or this meaning. When it is constant flowing on the ocean surface and it should be in a definite direction, it is called as ocean currents. The ocean current may be warm and or cold. Now, there will be a question in your mind that how these ocean currents may be, or the water may be warm or cold. We are going to study that also. Generally, the warm ocean currents originate near the equator and move towards the pole. So, equator, okay, or the imaginary line which we divide the earth into two halves. So how it will be? Near the equator, the climate or it is very hot, and near the poles it is very cold. So the cold currents carry water from polar or higher latitudes to tropical or lower latitudes. Okay, the cold currents where they are near the pole, okay, they carry water from polar region to high or the higher latitudes to the tropical or to the lower latitudes. The Labrador Ocean current is cold current, while the Gulf Stream is a warm current. Okay, whichever area or the oceans are near the equator, they have warm water, and wherever the water is near the poles, it is obviously cold water. The ocean's current influences the temperature condition of this area. So this means what happens? The ocean's current, they change the temperature of the area due to this, because of warm and cold water. Warm currents bring about warm temperature over land surface. The area where the warm and the cold water or the currents meet provide the best fishing grounds to the world. Means what happens? If it is very cold also, the fishes, it is not good for the eggs which the fishes lay eggs. If it is too cold like ice, it is not good for the for the growing of fishes. And if it is too hot also, what happens? The eggs will not be, means the fishes, they do not find it good climatic conditions for the eggs, or to be what we can say for the fishes. So we are going to see with this figure what are ocean currents and how they travel. Okay. So you can see, children, here it is a equator, fine, and cold water currents are shown in blue arrows, okay, and warm current are shown in red arrows. So here you can see how the water or the ocean currents that they flow. So here you can see, suppose this is Brazilian current, okay. How it comes? This one with red color, it is warm, okay. This warm, they come here. When they come to the pole, how it is? The temperature or the water, it is cold, isn't it? So this cold currents, they go here upstairs, means this both get mixed and they again go upwards. So what happens? This both, when they mix, isn't it? What will happen? The water, when you have cold and warm water, when you mix it, it will be of a middle temperature, like not too hot and not too cold, isn't it? So in this way they have shown, you have to see this North Atlantic drift, okay. Here North Pacific drift, means how you have to see and study this arrows, or which is there, because Alaska currents, California currents, now North Equatorial currents here, okay. Near the equator, it is equatorial counter current, south equatorial counter current, then west wind drift, like this, means to the west side. And how these currents flow, they have shown with the arrows, okay. Many of the near the equator it is hot and near the poles it is cold. So when this water flows, as we have seen in ocean currents, it flows in a definite direction, okay, in a particular direction we have seen it. So and it flows constantly, so it does not stop, it flows constantly. The ocean currents, as I told you, it may be warm as well as cold, and where it mixes, it gets very, means how we can't take too much cold of water, as well as like removing as ice from the fridge, which is very chilled, and also very hot water, we cannot consume it, isn't it? So when we mix it, it will be of little middle temperature. Same way the fishes also, they find it very good place for laying the eggs wherever this mixed or water is there. So we can see, we have seen that ocean currents also, and the Labrador ocean current where it is cold, and the Gulf Stream in a warm current water. Here you can see, we have seen with this map also that ocean currents and arrows of cold and warm water. How with that arrows they have shown the flow of the water. Okay. Just first time it will be difficult to understand, but as you see this video or also take the textbook, children, and what you can do, you can go through the points, means now the names will be also different for you. So you can see or you can practice it 2-3 times. So it will be easy to understand all these names and all. So seas around Japan and the eastern coast of North America are such examples where we get mixed water, like what I have told you. The areas where warm and cold current meets, they experience a foggy weather, and this weather is not good for navigation. Why? Because they cannot, it will be not good for navigation. The ships cannot travel fast, or it will be not visible, like something while traveling also they feel it difficult to see in which direction or what things are going to come in between. So foggy means the whatever path will be there, it will not be clear, isn't it? So till now, just have a recapitulation, children. We will see that we have seen what is water, okay, then water cycle we have seen. Then we have seen major seas, lakes and rivers. That also map you have to study, you have to refer, take a map, world map, and just write whatever things are there, okay, main seas, rivers, etc., and you will see that it will be easy for you. Then we have seen distribution of water bodies, isn't it? Then ocean circulation, how the water circulates. We have seen waves, tides. Also we have seen what is waves, what is tides, and the difference between that. We have seen waves which are on the upper side, or we can say lata, what I told in Marathi. But tides, what are tides? It comes when it comes to the level, means not only the upper side but the highest level or the lowest level, we can say that those were tides. In that also we have seen different tides, what are spring tides, what are neap tides, and also high tide, and how the gravitational force of the sun and the moon also attracts, or it we can say pulls the water towards it, and due to this, when the moon, sun and the earth, they are in the same line, so the gravitational force will be too much, and the land surface, it doesn't have that energy or that strength to pull the land, but the water, as it is in liquid state, the water can be pulled, but the water doesn't reach till moon or the sun, but the force of the water increases. Try to understand, the force of the water increases, means the tides, those go at a highest level. So we have seen ocean currents, and with the help of those arrows we have seen how the water travels from one place to another, or in the same manner as we have told in ocean currents, when it travels or when it flows in a definite direction. So just go through the lesson, very interesting lesson it is, children. Also underline the difficult words and just practice the maps, it is very important. Thank you.